Sometimes, the most unexpected moments happen in the places you'd least expect, like a quiet grocery store on a sunny afternoon in Long Beach. Imagine this: a world-famous celebrity, dressed in plain clothes, blending in with everyday shoppers. No security, no entourage, just a simple man pushing a cart. Most people don't even realize who's walking among them until one customer does. But what starts as recognition quickly spirals into something much darker, a confrontation laced with judgment, ignorance, and prejudice. What happens next will surprise you not because of the insults thrown, but because of the legendary response that changed everything. And trust me, you won't see this twist coming. Before we dive in, if you love stories that keep you on the edge of your seat, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another story. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you. And if this story moves you, don't forget to share it with someone who needs to hear it. All right, let's get into it. It was a bright, warm afternoon in Long Beach, California. The salty breeze from the nearby Pacific Ocean swept through the city streets. In a bustling part of town, nestled between a family-run bakery and a local cafe, stood Thaw Dog Pound Market. Though it looked like an ordinary grocery store, it was far from it. Owned by none other than the legendary Snoop Dogg, the market was built to give back to the community that raised him. Snoop had poured his heart into making the store a place where everyone felt welcome. Fresh produce, fair prices, and jobs for locals. It was a symbol of hope and opportunity. But today, Snoop wasn't there as the owner. Dressed in a simple gray hoodie, dark jeans, and white sneakers, with a baseball cap pulled low over his iconic braids, he pushed a cart casually through the aisles like any other customer. The store was lively. Families filled their carts, kids begged for sugary snacks, and the scent of freshly baked bread wafted through the air. Snoop hummed softly to himself, blending into the scene. As he turned into the produce aisle, an older woman stacking apples glanced up. Her eyes widened in recognition. "Wait a minute. Is that who I think it is?" she whispered to herself. Snoop caught her gaze and smiled warmly. "Mornin', ma'am. How you doing?" She chuckled, shaking her head in disbelief. "Ain't no way Snoop Dogg's just out here buying groceries like the rest of us." "Hey, gotta eat just like everybody else," Snoop said with a grin. They shared a laugh before she asked for a quick selfie, which he happily obliged. Further down the aisle, a group of teenagers whispered excitedly. One of them, a bold young girl with curly hair, approached him. "Are you Snoop Dogg?" she asked hesitantly. "In the flesh?" he said, tipping his cap. "Whoa! You're a legend!" Snoop chuckled. "Appreciate that, lil' homie. Stay in school, you hear?" "I will," she promised as her friends snapped pictures from afar. As Snoop pushed his cart toward the checkout lanes, the cheerful vibe of the store subtly shifted. A man in his mid-40s, tall with neatly combed hair and a rigid posture, stood near the frozen foods section, scrutinizing Snoop from across the aisle. His face was etched with disapproval, as though just the sight of Snoop had soured his day. Snoop casually placed a carton of almond milk in his cart, pretending not to notice the man's glare. He had grown up dealing with judgment and negativity. This was nothing new. But the man didn't keep his thoughts to himself. He muttered loudly enough for others nearby to hear, "Can't believe they let people like him in here." A woman browsing frozen vegetables shot the man a disapproving glance but quickly looked away, not wanting to get involved. Snoop paused for a beat, his hand resting on the cart handle. He decided to ignore the comment, choosing peace over confrontation. But the man wasn't done. He stepped closer, his voice dripping with hostility. "What's the world coming to? First, they ruin the neighborhoods, and now they're shopping here like they own the place." A tense silence spread through the aisle. Shoppers froze, unsure whether to intervene or quietly slip away. Snoop turned slowly to face the man, his expression calm but serious. Something you want to say to me, partner? The man's lips curled into a sneer. Yeah. Why don't you go back to your country or wherever it is you came from? Gasps echoed from a few nearby customers. A young mother pulled her child closer, clearly uncomfortable with the escalating situation. Snoop's jaw clenched briefly, but he quickly regained his composure. He had learned long ago that rising to someone else's anger only gave them control. First off, Snoop said, his voice steady and measured, this is my country, born and raised right here in Long Beach. The man laughed mockingly. Figures. Look at you. Bet you've never worked an honest day in your life. Snoop's eyes flickered with amusement, but he kept his cool. That what you think? You people are all the same, the man spat. Living off handouts, making noise, thinking you're somebody special. The tension was thick now, the air practically crackling. A cashier's hand hovered near the phone, ready to call security. But Snoop didn't need anyone to step in. He knew how to handle this. You done? Snoop asked calmly. The man crossed his arms, defiant. Yeah, I'm done. Just calling it like I see it. Snoop took a step closer, his voice dropping to a quieter, more personal tone. Let me tell you something, homie. You don't know me. You don't know my story. I came from the struggle, yeah, but I worked hard, real hard to get where I'm at, and now I'm out here building something for my people. For all people. The man scoffed, but there was a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. You see this store? Snoop gestured around with a sweep of his hand. I built this place, from the ground up, to make sure folks in this community got fresh food and jobs that pay right. So yeah, technically you're shopping in my store. The man's face turned crimson. He looked around, realizing that every pair of eyes in the aisle was now on him. You own this place? He asked, incredulous. That's right, Snoop said proudly. And you know what? You're welcome here too. No hate, just love. The man stood frozen, embarrassment washing over him. Some shoppers exchanged glances, whispering among themselves. A few even started clapping, breaking the tension. Snoop's voice softened. We all got room to grow, brother. No hard feelings. Just think about how you treat folks, ain't? The man's expression faltered. For a moment, it looked like he might argue, but instead he nodded stiffly. Yeah, maybe I need to. Respect, Snoop said, extending a fist. The man hesitated, then returned the gesture with a sheepish smile. As the man walked away, humbled, a young boy tugged at his mother's sleeve. Mama, that's Snoop Dogg! The boy ran up to Snoop, eyes wide with admiration. Mr. Snoop, you're a hero! Nah, lil' man, Snoop said, kneeling to his level. The real heroes are the ones who spread love and kindness, even when it's hard. Think you can do that? The boy nodded enthusiastically. That's what I'm talking about, Snoop said, giving him a high five. As Snoop paid for his groceries and headed for the door, the store manager approached. Thanks for handling that situation so gracefully, Mr. Broaddus, the manager said respectfully. Snoop smiled. Gotta lead by example, you dig? Outside, the sun shone brightly as Snoop walked to his car, bags in hand. He glanced back at the store, his heart full. Moments like these weren't just about groceries. They were about breaking barriers, building bridges, and reminding everyone that love always wins. And that's just how Snoop Dogg rolled, with heart, humility, and a message worth remembering. And just like that, what started as an ordinary grocery store visit turned into a moment that left everyone thinking. Snoop Dogg didn't just walk away from that encounter, he walked through it with grace, wisdom, and a reminder that kindness and leadership go hand in hand. We all face situations where people judge us unfairly. But remember, how you respond says more about your character than their words ever could. If this story inspired you, don't keep it to yourself, share it with someone who needs that reminder today. And before you go, make sure to like this video, Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you never miss a powerful story like this one. I'd love to hear your thoughts. How would you have handled a situation like this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, this is Rose signing off from Storytime with Rose. Stay strong, stay kind, and keep growing.